What's going on, Attack Squad? It's your boy Roman, aka Mr. Anime 3438, and today I wanted to give some in-depth analysis on why Redo of Healer is so hated. Even though it points out all the flaws and contradictions that social weirdos usually make on social media. I have been given my thoughts after watching the series when it first came out, even though it cost me a friendship with someone that in the end, and he was, dare I say, a fake fan. Continuing on, our protagonist was given a special power, which allows him to not only heal people, but there is a cost. He has to relive their traumatic memories of when they get hurt. Also, he was sexually and abused. He was also a sexual assault and abuse victim, and as you should know, men can be assaulted as well, whether it's by other men or women. And people usually go by the mindset of believe all women. And just like the Rising of the Shield hero when Naofumi, the protagonist of that show, was accused of sexual assault, he had to do whatever it took to prove his innocence. Whereas Kaoru, however, he sees that the kingdom is so corrupt, he's willing to do whatever it takes to bring down the king and the kingdom. But of course, he had to get his revenge against the sword hero Blade and the gun hero Bullet, since they have done some equal things to him in the first go around. Now these anime elitists might say that this anime deserves to be non-existent or needs to be put in a, dare I quote, a chemical bath for being so edgy. These people are so out of touch when it comes to anime fans. They think they're elitist, but in reality, they're narcissistic virtue signalists. As much as I have respect for Ryusukyo and his work, it seems that there are people that are trying to tarnish it. I.e., the examples of actually people coming accusing the guy of actually committing perjury without any proof to back up what they're trying to say or why they're actually trying to accuse him of plagiarism, which is kind of I don't even know how to put that. So, but for now, let's focus on why Redo of Healer is being so and why it won't be talked about. The first reason is the fact that the Me Too movement is still being used, and they can't say anything about men can be sexually assaulted or abused or anything like that as well. Instead, we're living in a time of believe all women no matter what. Here's a known fact. Women can lie easily and deceive people in order to get what they want. Just look at a certain unnamed person who assaulted and harmed, the man that we actually have to deal with, getting accused of such accusations. She lied and she said that he was the her when it's the other way around. Secondly, there are other shows that are just as dark and edgy content-wise. For instance, Berserk or Goblin Slayer. Even though these shows should have much headway from edginess of the content, but also there's one thing I would add in there. The sad news is the mangaka of Berserk has sadly passed away due to a heart attack, and they actually tried to actually bring some closure to the story as well. And I still stand for the creative freedom of expression and speech for any living or deceased, but of course, leave it to social media and try to cancel someone because they did something bad in their life. That's the kind of stuff that really irks me. The second thing about why Radio Healer is hated is because of the description of sexual content and the R word that is just atrocious, and it shouldn't happen to anyone. But it's a grim reminder of life, that life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Of course, here's a reason why people have, do the deed with Kiaru. Is to level cap and expand their abilities. Kiaru even shows it to Setsuna when he's explaining to her about how it is beneficial for them to. Of course, this was also deemed problematic by the Puritans that stroll through social media. Third, people just want to hate on it because they want to bring in clicks from out of touch normies and Puritans who sit there and preach about the progressivism in order to get likes and retweets. This just shows that social media is their own reality, and the line between fiction and reality is so blurred that no one can even tell the difference anymore. Heck, even anime characters would be considered underage if you like them. Well, guess what? They'll actually label you a pedo because you're Asian anime girls. Seriously, fiction from reality. These people are lacking a little thing called common sense. It comes to the same conclusion with the redo of Healer. The line between reality is so blurred that, thanks to social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook, we can't even actually have anything that's actually nice these days. Even anything that actually resides within certain cultures. My personal takeaway is this. We need to cut out all the noise of social media and enjoy whatever we want, along with supporting things that don't push political agendas. Plus, don't get me started on this either. No publisher wants to make an English translation of Redo of Healer, the manga, or the light novel. According to publishing companies, they don't want to deal with the reading outrage mobs that want to cancel anything that offends them. Yeah, like that's ever going to actually stop us. I still stand that we need freedom of expression to be told for both forms of the story. And that is why I know that this won't work, because no one will ever listen, nor will any of the publishers. I started a petition to get both the light novel and the manga of Redo of Healer to be translated to English. God forbid if somebody actually decides to do that, then we might actually have a bit of issues actually just roll around these days. And here's another thing. Even if we do get an English translation version of Redo a Healer, they would probably either A, change the dialogue and insert political propaganda into it, see some publishing and how they actually properly translate a light novel, or B, Puritans would try to get it removed from listings like Amazon or eBay for the matter, since they always light novels, certain manga issues, or even go as far as removing anime figurines because they, and I quote yet again, promoting child exploitation. You know, like that's ever gonna freaking accept these people wrong. I know for a fact that it's not even true, and these people are ruining our escapisms on purpose. It's all just a form of entertainment, because they know for a fact that if they created something, mind you, these people can't actually create anything, since they are only good at destroying things, it will be a massive flop. Let's redo a Healer, shall we? There's a certain anime-tuber that I truly despise with every fiber of my being, and that is the Anime Man. This ungrateful soy boy decided to personally try to drag Rusuki by making a confrontation video, because we all know that Joey, the anime soy boy Berzinger, or as I like to call him, Barslinger, is a censorship advocate, and he can't stand yaoi. But thanks to Rusuki keeping his cool and being honest, that's what made me respect the writer. Look, people like them give us smaller anti-tubers like me a bad name. And they don't care about their fans. They treat fans as their own personal or cash cows. But I'm going to keep this at $1.50 here. If there's something that might be controversial and I like it, so what? At least people like me for freedom of expression, speech, and creativity. The last thing here in the West is lacking. The West is actually lacking because we have to hit check boxes and make sure nothing offends the outrage mobs. Also, there's another reason why people are so hush-hush about Redo Healer, since they cried and complained about the rising of the Shield hero. and they know how it came. They didn't want to have a repeat of the Rising of the Shield hero since people don't understand how the Streisand effect works. The more you try and hide something or suppress it, or sit there and just cry and whine about it on social media, attention you're giving it. In other words, you're actually just giving these companies and these, writers free real estate, for Pete's sakes. At the end of the day, people eventually become curious and see why it's actually being suppressed and hidden. No doubt about it, because I'm actually still willing to create more Redo a Healer content. Even if it actually means if I get disliked to hell and back, I'll still do it. Finally, people shouldn't say that watching certain anime, cartoons, movies, playing video games, reading certain manga or comics, let alone manhwa, which is Korean manga, don't make people into certain types of people. There's absolutely no proof whatsoever that proves consuming any form of media makes someone an Istifito, an alt-right nationalist. There's absolutely no proof showing us anything to back up these claims are valid. The truth is, these people who say these things are virtue signalers, and all the studies have shown that people who virtue signal are sociopaths, looking to gain relevance and favor from the outrage mods / cancel culture, let alone trying to get canceled from doing whatever they are at the time. Well, that should wrap up about everything. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe button, along with hitting the notification bell to make sure you're on all notifications so you don't miss any of my content. If you want to support me financially, I have a Patreon and a Kofi as well. Links will be in the description, both of which are optional. As always, just remember these 3 things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy fandoms, enemies freedom. Until the next one, this is Mr. 43 saying, sign everyone.